Namaste and welcome, Lata ji. I'm so happy that today we can have a little chat and know a little bit about who you are. And we know you do a lot of Karma Yoga services. So our scholars would like to know what it is to be someone like you. So can you start with a little introduction about your family and your education and where you grew up?
Namaste, Ushaji. Thank you. I don't consider myself so important, but anyway, thank you for giving this opportunity to reflect upon myself. I think that's sometimes very important in life is you go back and see who you are, right? So anyway, my name is Latha Vasan, and I consider myself a very lucky person. You know, I grew up in a small town called Mithapur in the far end tip of Gujarat. Now, I come from a loving, large family. Um, and we lived in very close to the beach, and we also lived very close to Lord Krishna's birthplace, which is Dwarka. And literally, it is being a small town. What I mean is, there was only one company called Tata Chemicals, where my dad worked there, and we could span one end of the town to the other end in few hours. There's only one school, one hospital, one church. So you know what that means. That means we knew literally everybody in the community. It's a very small, close-knit community. We celebrated everyone's joys and shared all the people's sorrows. And then, you know, I grew up in that small town and then went to, in Gujarat itself, in Vadodara, I got my mathematics degree and I started a career in Vadodara. Then I got married, had the kids, and moved to the US. Went to Virginia. I became a scout mom there. I started working with children and, you know, developing my other passions for my professional career. I did my master's in information technology. And then today I work as an IT auditor in Toyota.
Awesome.
But very importantly, I have a degree in counselor of Hindu tradition from
Yes.
HCI,
Yes.
besides being a yoga teacher and therapist. But HCI taught me a lot. So I have to mention that.
Yes. I think I was recruited by you. And
Yes.
I thank the day that you did that to me. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I've never stopped being grateful and thankful. So, and then I know you talked about being brought up in a small town, small environment. So what is it? Was it a special event or family?
Yes. Yes.
Anybody
Yes.
put you
And
on
you
the
know, the interesting thing, Ushaji, I was just telling Vasan. Vasan said, Usha Narasimhan, because he heard me talk to you. I said, yeah, she's also HCI counselor. Uh, and um, and he was very surprised. And I said, she's doing a whole lot. She's more of a counselor than I am. But anyway, yes, when you're talking about a small town, and I'll tell you why, where I got this passion to help others. So as you know, it was a small town near the beach, and it was near this another small town called Jamnagar, Porbandar, and all those places. And Gujarat used to have lots of floods. And at one time, there was a huge flood event. I still remember that, you know, we came back from the college and the train tilted. We were about 6 or 7 of us in the from the school who came back together after we went to first year of college, and the train tilted, and literally the windows were down and up. Fortunately, because of the rain, we had closed the windows, and we were inside that compartment for about 8 to 10 hours. And that small community that came driving all the way from Midapur to come and help save us. That was one thing, but another more important thing was that flood continued, and the next week the dam broke in Porbandar. There was like 18 foot, I don't know, I don't remember mathematically, but the entire town was underwater. And you cannot even imagine how people came together. And that was, even the flood was not scary to me, but that was so beautiful to watch how everyone put other people's needs before theirs,
Yes,
and
yes.
how the community came together and helped each other, how we walked in the water, we crossed the, went to this, there were a couple of people with high rise buildings, so we went and we stayed in that apartment, and literally we had that. So like that are just a couple of things I'm telling you, but there were a few people in that town who, and then the war, the war, the
Yes,
Indo-Pak war. I
yes.
still remember that war where we used to go under the trenches, and how beautifully the community, every night they patrolled. They told us if there was light shown outside our windows.
Windows.
And that community spirit, I think I always admired that. For some reason, from young age, I was drawn towards that. And I never felt like, I thought everybody did because that was life. I never thought, oh my God, they're doing this, so we should do this for them. No. We
Mm,
all accepted the help that we got also, and we gave the help that was needed also. Open heartedly.
okay. Yeah, and you're a natural at that, and I think that's part of giving, right? It just, hey, you see somebody in need, or you see that somebody wants to have somebody with them, and you're there, and then
That's true.
what else yeah, so you came to the US. So what kind of activities can you describe for our scholars, the kind of activities you like to participate in your contribution? And do you ever like think of it as, oh, this is my karma and I'm a karma yogi, or you just say, okay, this needs to be done, I'm going to do it? So
No,
like,
actually, I think in life, I think things just come your way. And at times, yes, I still remember my kids call me a surrogate mom. They said, Mom, you did more with the community than you did with us. I mean, we took on the role as scout. We took one of the scout troop under our umbrella, me and Vasan. And from a very, about 25 years ago, we did that. And because we had friends who had children going to the troop, and the troop was getting dissolved, and they asked Vasan if he'll sponsor the troop. And then, I took leadership training. That time my kids were already past, they were in the ninth grade or something, so they didn't go in for that scout. So it was literally not for our kids. We just did it because anyway we were available, and we always liked kids. My husband, Vasan, always liked to. He never treated, my house was like an open door policy.
yeah.
All, and my kids shared their toys as if, new toy we would have given them, as soon as the friends will come, they'll give it to them to open and play first. So
Feel,
somehow in my house it was like we never treated it like just our family. The community was like our family. So anyway, we became scout leaders. We took care of even today we have, now we have girl scouts also, so we have about 70 kids. And then, in the temple they wanted to do some Ganesh event, so where I got recruited some 200, 300 kids, and they all did painting of Ganesha. We had some competition.
okay.
Somehow it was very much interesting. Then I became a yoga teacher, and then, I teach yoga, volunteer to teach yoga, and then now I'm a yoga therapist. And I did yoga research. Now I think I'm going to do PhD in yoga. So it's
Mm.
always about, thinking about others to help, and how I can be a useful member of the society. That's all. And then, of course, HCI came along about 5 years ago. I still remember watching Gauraji's video. And then when I called him and I said, hey, I would like to do this. And he said, but you are in LA and this is in Bay Area. So I said, what does it matter? Then he said, well, you're the only person. And this was the next day it was starting. He said, go get 10 people. Then I will, I don't, how can I
Whoa.
get, how can I get 10 people in one day? And how can I even talk up an organization which I don't even know, right?
Yeah.
I just felt because the way he talked, I knew, hey, this was something I'm already, I feel like a part of, right? And then I picked up the phone and called 3, 4 people, and they all agreed to go with me. For some reason, I'm not going to say I have the talent, but I just feel when I ask people, I mean, there is some kind element of trust, and they went with me. And but at the same time, I know whom to ask. It's not that I ask everyone, right? I know who are the kind of people who will enjoy doing something like this. And then I had only 3, 4 people, and Gauraji was so nice. He said, "Okay, I will open Zoom." And you will not believe that time they were not set up for networking. I mean, doing online outside, but we did have Zoom, or I don't know whether it was Google Meets at that time, because I don't know if Zoom was popular. I don't remember that, but we had a full-fledged, and then I visited Bay Area 3 or 4 times at the time, and the opening and the closing and the final graduation. So I think that was a very big thing that added to my passion for community. And I learned a lot, because there are many things like end of life and things that we don't talk about, that became very apparent. Yeah, you come home and you talk. I mean, that's a part of life, right? And then doing things without expecting things in return, right? I mean, that, yeah, it came from Bhagavad Gita. We all have Bhagavad Gita books on our table, right?
Yeah.
But I have never really sat and read it. Actually, from Arjun and Karthik, my kids, I know more. They say, "Mom, I today I have a problem at work. I need to figure out how Abhimanyu solved this problem." And I think Arjun and Karthik started going to learning Bhagavad Gita from our Balavihar, which we all attended together, right? But they read more than I think I read. So anyway, HCI opened our eyes to Bhagavad Gita, and hopefully we are going to read it 2, 3 times sometime.
Yeah, it opened and it gave us an avenue to think about the community holistically, and
Yes.
what, and so it's the greatest gift that ACI is giving all of us, and we hope to take that with us, right?
Yes.
And you were talking about something about you trust. It's trust also, like, uh, it's also you're charismatic in the sense that, yes, like you're able to draw people in and show them that maybe this is something you want to try out. And it's part of it is also true that you're sensible enough and shrewd enough to know who to go after.
Right.
There's no point asking somebody who that may not be their passion. So, we've been friends for probably over 30 years,
Oh,
but
yes.
I feel worthwhile, knowing that we're in this together. It does make
Yes,
me
a pleasure.
feel
That's
very.
what I told Vasan. Usha does so much. Now she is
Now,
like,
let's not talk about me. Let's go back to you. And any last thoughts? How do you want to wrap this up? What would you plan next? And
so definitely the word Vasudeva Kutumbam comes to my mind, you know, and to be of service to others, to commit to a cause, and to place the well-being of the others above yours is truly noble. So it's one of the highest endeavors that one can undertake, and endeavors that enables us to go further, to fly higher, to reach for things we otherwise would not have been able to. And imagine a caring community that is there for you to be a part of, to grow and to serve others, to learn how to serve others. That's HCI, a backbone to world care. The
yes.
whole world is one family.
Family, yeah.
Vasudeva
And this is something that's tangible that we can give to our Hindu diaspora globally, right? And just the tradition will help. Yes, thanks so much, Lataji. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you for
Have
the
a
opportunity.
nice, yes,
Yes.
rest of the day. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.